Now today, in the beginning of the whole thing, I don't want to say something that will not make you happy. Today is a day of great happiness and joy, and that we have to know that Christ came on this earth to deliver us from our sins and our karmas. And it was such a sacrifice. He went into which we cannot see or visualize with human understanding. It was too much for a person who was so powerful to get into a position where he had to forget that he was so powerful and go through all that and treated just like an ordinary person. It was too much, but he did it just because that drama was to be played, because Agija Chakra was to be opened up. But we have to understand that though he has done all that, our karmas are being taken away, as you know. That as soon as the Kundalini is awakened, you know that Kundalini cannot be awakened if your karmas are clean. You cannot. That's why in the olden days people used to go to Himalayas and all those far-fetched places, used to clean their karmas, clean their bodies, clean everything. And then they used to get awakening of the Kundalini, they used to get realization. But the way we have got realization, thanks to Christ, that Agija Chakra could be opened out and that I could manage that. But we do not realize that once that is done, that means you are now entitled to get your realization because of your Agija Chakra being opened out, that your Sahasrara can be opened out. But the punishment of the karmas has been taken away. You are being given such a higher position that you suddenly become saints. And you get all the knowledge that saints cannot have about Sahaja Yoga, about the Shuddha Vidya, the Nirmala Vidya. You get all the knowledge also. But the problem is, I find, that we have certain special problems belonging to the special countries also. And my attention has been on England very much, you know that. And I have really worked here very hard. 10 years I have worked here. And for English Sahaj Yogis, it is important to understand what are they lacking in. It's just our own understanding of ourselves, which should be done with proper critical eye, so that we understand what is our problem. Of course, the karmas have been forgiven, you can see that. No problem of the karmas are there. But the problem that exists within us is also a little bit from this country itself. The first is that this is a country of Tamoguna, because it is in a very high altitude placed and it is very cold country and people are used to drinking and all those things. So the generations have done that. So it has gone into more Tamogunas. And now it is so saturated that Tamoguna, when once upon a time it was on the right side, now it has gone onto the left side, because the whole saturation of that drinking and all those things have brought this Tamogun to settle down in this country. So the first problem is of Tamogun. And Tamogun makes you, with your intelligence, explain everything, whatever you do. So the intelligence has a capacity to cheat itself. So the intelligence tell you, see now, all right, if we have to get up in the morning, that may be all right in India, but in England may be too much. That's special intelligence, you see. And then you see, the progress compared to other people becomes slow, despite mother is working so hard here. The second thing is that tamogunis, you see, because they have to live with their tamogun, they become very shallow. And their depth is missing because they are on the other side of the thing. And they do not touch their depth, so they can live very superficial, you see. Whatever they do, they don't feel anything. I mean, they are not ashamed of it, they are not touched by it, whatever it is. At the most, they blame a bhoot somewhere, that's all. But otherwise, in a shallow way, one lives. They do not touch it that much where they should touch because of tamoguna. Now, as it is, this is the heart of the universe. And a person who has a heart is the most deep personality. Because you see, doing with the heart. Anything done with the heart means you are all out for it. But just the other way around it is, that sometimes when we are shallow, there is no heart, nothing. We do something without the heart. Now, as you have seen in the Ashtanga Yogas, there's many times I have said, Ishvara Pranidhan is the first. Now, what is Ishvara Pranidhan? We must understand it. Ishvara Pranidhan is the establishment of God in your heart. Now, how do you do it? You see a mantra. You are just saying it outwardly. You are clearing out outwardly. You are meditating outwardly. But when you are saying that, you are just using your right side or your left side, but not your heart. So what you have to do is to balance both. When you are saying something, say it with devotion, with dedication, with understanding. And try to put it in your heart. That whatever I am saying is a mantra given to me by Adi Shakti herself. So is a mantra very powerful. But the mantras also lose their powers if you do not have the Ishvara Pranidhan. That means your Ishvara must be established in your heart. And this is what we lack, is that when we do something, we just do outwardly in a shallow. And if you are shallow, you will be playing with yourself. And playing games is a very common thing with us. Because you see, people with tamasa, what else will they do? I mean, they are lazy lumps. So the mind has to be used. You see, mind doesn't stop, isn't it? It's working all the time. And we are lazy, doing nothing. So the mind plays on itself. And then we should understand that this mind is the one that makes you shallow. We make faces as if we are very happy before mother or something like that, or we say we are very, this thing, we have achieved this and that, supposing. But she knows. So what we have to do is to feel what we want to say, what we have to do. That is Ishvara Pranidhan. It should not be superficial. I have seen people, oh, mother, this, that. But this just coming from the lips only sometimes. It should come from the heart. Try to feel that. You will see the joy will be much more. You are trying to give me joy. You try to give yourself that joy. But that's what you are feeling within your heart. Try to feel that in your heart. Then the Ishvara Pranidhana is established. But this is one of the problems, is the tamasa. But when they were aggressive in this country, when they had aggression, see, they created another problem, is to sort of condition our minds. This also we should face it directly. Especially for Britishers, it is important to face that. Very important, because I have been noticing it is happening. Now what happens? Supposing you are an aggressor, means what do you do? I mean, see, in a stark way, just forget that you are Britisher, just go away from it. You just think like this, that this is your house, then you become quite healthy, hefty, and you go and attack another person, drive him out of his house, stay there nicely for 300 years. It is that. As simple as that. That's what the forefathers have done here. And they have conditioned our mind. Means what have you done? That means you have no respect for anybody else's country. Simple as that. That they showed no respect for anybody else's life. To them, they were the ones, they could occupy other countries, they could capture other countries, live there, dominate them. But as a result of that, the conditioning is still in the minds. Because when we live, say, in the ashram now, I was very happy to know that the ashram of Brighton is looking so much better. People are looking after it. It's a very big thing. That shows that you respect that place, which is a holy place. You are looking after it. Otherwise, formerly the ashram was this, that the bills would rise so high that everybody became bankrupt with that. Everything was broken, everything was thrown away. They lived the way they liked, all the lights were on all the time, or the fire was on, this happened, that happened. I mean, impossible to put them together in any place. It was like that. So today I was so happy to learn that there's an ashram where people respect. So to be more on the right side, we should know, do we respect? Do we respect others' properties? This is not others, this is mother's property. I mean, you give them any sofa set, after 10 days you go and see it's all broken, finished, ready there. Anything, it used to happen like that. Now, this should come, that we have to respect. We have to respect now the property, which is, first of all, started with Sahaj Yoga property. And then it will start with others. We have to respect. Then another conditioning that we have from the society, we must face it. It's very funny, is this that nobody respects anybody's wife or anybody's husband. They are married, but their eyes will be on somebody's wife, somebody's thing. How can you do that? See to the subtle side, because now you have become subtler people. And you must see these problems exist in our country. That we have got this conditioning. Around us is all this going on. Somebody's wife is going with somebody's husband. No respect. They are married people. How can you carry on with somebody's wife or somebody's husband? Just think of the society in which we live, isn't it? Now somebody is married to someone. Now you cannot carry on with a person who belongs to somebody else. It's a simple thing like that. But it's on. You see, in the society, we live in that kind of a society. I mean, every day we hear such news. I mean, it is shocking sometimes. So we have to face the problems with which we are living. Like Indians have their own problems and they are horrid on that line. So we have to face our problems. So first of all, we have to know that we must establish Ishvara Pranidhana. Sahaj Yoga cannot be established by people who are shallow, who are superficial in Sahaj. Some people think they can play about. They feel happy, by disturbing the ashramites, by talking against the ashram people about Sahaj Yogis. Many have seen. Sahaj Yogis are horrid, as if other people are better. They go on like that, see, playing. But what is the thing? They lose. They are the losers. They don't understand this. By doing this kind of a thing, you are the loser. Whom are you playing with? You are playing against with yourself. Those people who try to criticize Sahaj Yogis must know that they are cutting themselves out of Sahaj Yoga. And this is just they're playing games, you see, and this should not be allowed. Nobody should criticize Sahaj Yogis, which is a group. One individual Sahaj Yogi is doing wrong. I will know. So it is very important that you should be accepted by the group. If you are an individual, think you are a great personality and you are trying to correct others. And say that the Sahajogis are bad and the ashram is bad and do like that. Then you must know you are getting out of Sahajog. Very soon you will be out. So one should not try these things. And taking sides with newcomers. When the newcomers come in, you are more attached to the newcomers than to the Sahajogis, then be sure you are not there. That's one of the way you can judge. Are you with the collectivity or are you trying to get out of it and trying to control all the rest of them? Alright? This is one of the ways of understanding yourself. All such tricks will put you out of Sahajog. And I think this is what Pluto is working out now. So be very careful. It's nice to celebrate, but spirituality is purity. If your heart is not pure, you will be thrown out.